So greetings to you. I wanted to get the CCJ breaking news out of the way, then to come and deliberate here. And to say, I told you so. No, I can say that. I invite you, if you have the time, make the time. Go and watch my previous videos from 2 months ago. 2 months ago. The first thing I did, I said, the verdict is going to come down by the end of July. End of July. Today is the end of July. The second thing I said, the CCJ will not rule in favor of the Mohammeds. Go and look at the videos. Don't bother with what I politic about after that. I was bullshitting you. I was trying to piss off the supporters of the Mohammeds. But when I talk on serious issues, I said, Dr. L. Persad said, the CCJ is not going to rule in favor of the Mohammeds. I further stated, if by some miracle they ruled in favor of the Mohammeds, saying that this whole thing is illegal, unlawful, it meant that they were bribed. The Mohammeds got to them. That's what I suggested, that if it comes in favor of the Mohammeds. But if it's about the law and sticking to the law, the same law that governs the High Court, the Appellate Court, the Appeals Court in Guyana, is practically the same law all these lawyers study at Uncensored Law School or Jamaican Law School. Law is law. So when you have the Guyanese court throughout the case and say, hey, what are you doing? The minister had done nothing illegal here. Go back to Judy. They thought these lawyers, these judges at the CCJ studied a different law. What, they studied law on Mars? Or is it the Greek law back in the Herodotus and Zeus and what law you think they studied? Same law. So the decisions that they arrive at, it's no different than what was arrived at in the appeals court with Justice Carl Singh. Throw it out. Go back to Judy. You have to go. I'm not asking anybody to pray to me. I'm not saying I'm a God. I'm not saying that I'm always right. Okay, yes. But I'm not saying you need to take my picture, put it on your wall with some flowers and some deer and say, you know, Om to Lord the Dr. L. Persad. Om. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is, when I make a prediction, listen. When I make a prediction, listen. Because I plan to make a few more today on this show. But so far, to all the idiots who are telling me, oh, we're praying for the Mohammeds. God is on the side of the Mohammeds. Jesus is not going to make sure that nothing happened to the Mohammeds. Oh, Allah. No, they say Allah because these are some stupid Christians who their prayer ain't work for them. They think their prayers are so good, it's going to work for the Mohammeds. Oh, Jesus is going to deliver the Mohammeds. The Mohammeds are going to be exonerated. No, they use that word. They're idiots. They don't understand what exonerated means. Oh, he's going to be free. Wait and see. You and Jesus, you and God, you calling yourself an Indian, you're fake Indian. You call yourself a prophet. You're the prophet of the devil. Okay, fine. Then the devil told me 2 months ago that your idiot pissant is not going to get away with the case of the CCJ. Satan told me that. And it seemed like Satan was right. Okay? So whichever God you're praying to, you better step over. Step over. Because I am correct. I said it's going to happen, and it happened. The CCJ pronounced, the panel of legal experts, the genius of the Caribbean, the great men who would not be bribed. Money can't get them. Money can't. That is why the court is independent. This is why they manage themselves. They don't want any government giving them donations. No, 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 because they want to remain independent so that they cannot and will not be influenced by not even the billionaire of Guyana. Nobody. So what are we going to say now? I get it. I fucking get it. I didn't see that coming. I literally didn't see that coming. I mean, me in my smart mind, me in my genius mind, I'm like a fucking hero of logics. Ali got to the president of the CCJ. President Irfan Ali and the corrupt PPP corrupted the CCJ and got all them judges there to unanimously vote against the Mohammeds. Why didn't I think of that? President Ali, you are a powerful man. You're the GOAT, Ali. You can get to anyone. Anyone. I didn't see that. I didn't know it was possible, Ali. I didn't know it was possible. President Ali, you can get to God. You can get to God. Get to God for me, Ali, and tell God I need $1 billion. We can't blame this on Ali. I'm just being sarcastic to some of the idiots who would run with that and say, you see, I knew it. I knew it. I'm being sarcastic. This isn't Ali's fault. This is justice delivered. Justice delivered. Okay? This is to teach Guyanese now. You like to criticize your own. You like to run down your own. We have only corrupt lawyers, corrupt judges, corrupt system. So you go get the foreigners. You go get the foreigners. So when the foreigners rule in consistent with the laws of Guyana, what are you going to say now? The government got to them? No. The judges on the panel, you see, all of them came out. Usually they don't. They don't. All of them, the whole court, full court, just to present so you know that we are all in this together. Don't come back for an appeal. You can't appeal this to the CCJ. It's final. You can't appeal it. Because everybody, there's the people who came out today, that's who is there. There's no other judge in the background in some other office higher. It's the president to the registrar. Everyone came out today to read a statement. And the statement says, the ban on Judy is lifted. We ban Judge Judy from continuing this case. The first judgment is that ban is lifted, which means the motherfucking case has to continue. Secondly, no embargo. No embargo. The word embargo means restrictions, banning, preventing, stopping. politically putting on hold on the verdict. No embargo. It means you can talk about it. It means you can cover it in your news. It means you can, whatever you want to do with the information is up to you. It ain't like what the judge said to Anil Nandalal and the others, do not discuss this in public domains. No, go discuss it now. No embargo. Anyone and everyone can have their opinion on it, to talk about it. That's what they said. It's onward back to Judy, because we think she's going to be the one to take the case. That's where I'm nervous now. Now I'm nervous because there's no other place to run. There's no other place to run. And while the court was busy with their deliberation, they're like, hey, you got to cover your own costs. The state ain't gonna pay you to bring this case here. You had no right to bring it in the first place. No merit to bring it in the first place. But since we have to serve everybody, okay, fine. But we're telling you that ain't no political bias, ain't no prejudice. You cuss out the PPP cuss out you. Okay? So there was no bias, no prejudice to cause the minister to sign no deal. The minister did what the minister had to do as an executive. As an executive. Had she not do it, then she could have been sanctioned. But she had to do what any minister must do, government or not. It is by law and constitution the minister had to sign for it to go ahead. So no bias, no setup, no plan, no seeking to undermining stuff, no conspiracy, none of that crap. These highly favored, highly learned judges said, ain't no bias. You fuck around the PPP fuck around you. If you didn't start cussing them out first, they want to cuss you. So don't come with that shit and say, oh, they're cussing me and they're saying things to compromise and to make me look bad. To make me look bad. Don't you see I'm sensitive? Look, magistrate, look, judge, you know, they prejudice the whole thing. They have all these people saying that, yes, I'm guilty, I'm guilty. They say no. You start attacking the PPP first, and they just had to respond. But it had nothing to do with the extradition, your crimes, the indictment, the sanctions. It has nothing to do with that. Because if it was up to the PPP, you wouldn't be going anywhere. That's how dumb you are. I've said it, and I'm suspicious of that. If it was up to the PPP, they wouldn't extradite you. But you are a thorn. You are a thorn in the smooth operations of the society. You are using your money to attack people. Poison to the environment. So they can't protect you. And I'm clear now that the government is not protecting the Mohammeds. I'm satisfied with the verdict. You see, I change my mind when I get new evidence. So based on what I heard, what was read, I realized that no, government don't have a choice. They're held by the balls, by the Americans. The American justice system is holding the Ali regime by its balls. We want this criminal, we will get him. With or without your help, we are going to get him. There's where we are. There's where we are. So what's the next move? It has to go back to Judy. The case must go back to Judy. Magistrate Judy Latchman. And as it goes back to Magistrate Judy Latchman, Obviously, we shall see what happens on the next hearing. The magistrate would have to now announce, she will have to now announce when is the next hearing. It might be next week because there is nothing now preventing her from calling the case. Might be next week. But this got to be over before the end of August. That's my next prediction. This whole thing has to be over before August end. It has to be over. There is no other court for the Mohammeds to go. There is no other appeal. There is no other bullshitting. They can't say they can't appear virtually if Shell happens to fall sick again. Or who knows, Azruddin might get COVID. You never know. You never know. And if he can't show up in person, they can't come with the excuse that, oh, we can't do virtual. We can't do virtual because the Mohammeds don't have strong internet. You know, Guyana is the PPP regime. They're not providing good internet service. So we can't have internet to Zoom. You got to wait until they're healed from their COVID. And you know, this is social distancing. No excuse. This thing got to wrap up by the end of August. By the end of August, the Mohammeds are gone. Out. Could be next week. Out. Gone. Bye-bye. So let's move on. Leave the deliberation and the legal explaining to Anil Nandalal. I ain't a lawyer. Let's move on. I have more important things to deal with. So let's deal with the important stuff right now. I would like to see, seriously speaking, welcome to Uncensored Guyana, the Uncensored Guyana show. I gave a long monologue. It slipped me. I am Dr. L. Prasad. What I would like to see, honestly so, Azruddin Mohammed challenged the government for the opportunity to raise MV Barima from the ocean floor, bring it to the surface, so they can salvage and, you know, they can do whatever investigation and recover whatever bodies are still pinned in that boat. I applaud that. I think the government should. The government should. Let me tell you why. The government is managing the affairs of the country, the people. It ain't their money. The money of the state is not Ali's money, is not Jagdir's money, is not Anil's money, is not Ashni Singh's money. It's the Guyanese people's money. But they're there to manage the money. If they weigh the cost and they realize to salvage MV Barima only for the purpose of recovering the bodies that are pinned, assume they are pinned in that boat, and you can't practically do anything with the body, because all this time they would have been peeling off and swollen, and you know, it would be in a terrible state. However, for them to undertake that task, the figures would scare you. The figures would scare you. It will cost a minimum of $5 million American dollars, minimum, to raise that boat to the surface. 5 million. That is more than $1 billion Guyana dollars. More than $1 billion Guyana dollars to bring that boat up to the surface. And if it is sunken more, and the fact it was so overloaded with all those vehicles and stuff, That might cause the cost to go to 10 million American dollars, which might very well take you to 2 billion. It might cost the taxpayers, not air, grab this. This ain't Irfan's money. It could cost the Guyanese people 2 billion Guyana dollars to salvage MV Barima. 2 billion. It can cost. That is what must be taken into consideration. Is it worth it? It is better you take 100 million. It is better you take 100 million and divide it amongst all the survivors and the families of the dead. The 200 people, whatever it is, divide up the 100 million amongst those people. You still have over a billion plus. You save for the country. Think, if you are in that position, would you take the country's money, 2 billion, to raise that ship, and you cannot repair the ship, you cannot do anything with it, it's done, it's finished, and there's no guarantee of the condition of the bodies, if in fact you find any bodies still there that you can identify? No guarantee. But it will cost you a guarantee amount of 2 billion, guaranteed. You got to pay that. Do the math. However, if a billionaire, a private billionaire, out of his good heart, wants to take $2 billion from his bank account and invest it into salvaging the ship, of which he could do nothing with the salvaged ship. Nothing. He can't rebuild it to say he can put it back. He can do nothing with it. For whatever reason, he wants to salvage the ship, as he wants to reach out and help the people who miss their relatives. I understand. But if he wants to take his money to do that, why should he be prevented? The ship, MV Barima, belongs to the people of Guyana, not the president, not the Ali regime, not the APNU, no government. They're just there to manage it. It's the people of Guyana. But since you can't talk to everybody in Guyana to do a vote, then you give the people who has the authority to decide what happens. They have to give the permission. So if the state must give permission. If the state does not give permission, that will make the state look bad. Yes, why not? Ain't your money. The man is going to spend his own money to raise the ship. So what is that to you? What is it to Edgel? It's not your money, Edgel. He using your money. He's using his own $2 billion. His own $2 billion he's going to use. So what? Let him use his money. You have nothing to hide. You won't find drugs on the boat, would you? What would you find? Is it going to incriminate you, Edgel? Let the man raise the boat. It's his money. He wants to spend his money. That's his way of paying his taxes. That's his way of paying his taxes. He paid $2 billion towards the ship. Then he still has 89 billion left. So let the man raise the ship. Give him, okay, fine. You want to do it? Go ahead. It's his responsibility. He has to know where you're going to put it. He has to figure out how to dispose of the bodies. It's his thing. He got to take care of that. You want to do it? Let him do it. Give him the permission to salvage the ship. If you don't, then we have a problem. Then you're being a bully. You're being a bully and stupid, and it's bad for politics. Because you can't do it, somebody else wants to do it, let them do it. After all, you are in government. You think the Guyanese would be angry with you for not investing $2 billion of their money for a project that is as useless as raising the ship from the bottom of the water? They won't be mad at you for that. If somebody wants to use their money for it, let the person use their money for it. At least you are exonerated from actually trying to cover things up. But whose decision is it? Egil? I don't think so. So while the man is still in Guyana, you don't know how long he'll be there yet. You don't know how long. So while he's still there, see how much you can get from the 2 billion. I mean, from the 191 billion. He wants to spend his, let him spend his money, because when he's gone, that's it. It's done. You're going to say, oh shit. And also, if people start to demand, if the relatives of those that are still yet to be recovered, if they start demanding, they don't care what it costs, is the country has to provide and facilitate the process of getting those people up. Then you gotta, as you said, Egil, Mark Phillips, as you said, whatever the relatives decide, if they say we want our relatives, the government has to do what the people demand. So if the people demand they want their relatives, you're going to come and say, the people decided to say, well, let's leave it as that. We don't trust you. We don't believe anything you say. All right? So if they say they want to see their family, you have to go get the ship up and spend $2 billion to do it. So if Mohammed wants to do it, this is your chance to save the country's money. Do it. Give the man, go ahead. Don't put your ego in front and be stupid and come with a long excuse as to why not. I mean, you had the French come and help, right? You had the Trinidadians and whoever else came, they helped with the whole recovery, search, and rescue process. Foreigners helped. We don't know if they volunteered or if it cost the country resources of these people coming. We don't know. The point is, you accepted help from strangers. If a citizen who happens to be the opposition leader is volunteering to raise our boat that you neglected to take care of from the bottom of the sea, why shouldn't you give a Guyanese the opportunity to help the same way you invited and accommodated foreigners? But no foreigner is going to volunteer 10 million American dollars to lift that ship. No foreigner. Not even Bill Gates. Not even Bill Gates. But if Mohammed wants to do it, let Mohammed do it. It's his money. That's the logic behind it. I want to get back to the whole arrest with these men. Now listen. Listen very carefully. Okay? Whatever is being promoted on social media, I am independently echoing my own call for those 3 men to be released. That is a very bad move to charge those men prematurely. No investigation done. You just test the men's urine and you determine that they had some kind of narcotics. What the fucking narcotics is? The only narcotics is marijuana. Not cocaine, marijuana. You are the only country that is still penalizing people for marijuana. The white man is allowing his citizens to smoke and drive. They catch them with a spliff driving. They don't jail them for that. They jail them if they catch them with alcohol, not marijuana. And you are blaming, the only thing you have is some kind of you said evidence. We didn't see it. And so far we don't believe any shit Edgel say or the Prime Minister. Nothing. But you force it on us because we don't have a choice. The people don't have a choice. We must trust you. But based on that, and the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions, women again. I really don't think women should hold these positions. I 100% don't think that women should hold this position. Chief Magistrate, DPP, these are not positions for women. And I mean that. They can be reached easily. Women are the most corrupt in any profession. This is why I don't support females as presidential candidates. If they happen to become president, well, I ain't got a choice but to respect that. But a female presidential candidate can never get my blessings. Never. Because I know how vulnerable they are. And no amount of education or so-called professionalism can separate that femininity from the woman. At the end of the day, she gets her period. Just like the woman who's dumb or the prostitute on the street. That's the deciding factor. I listened to what the DPP had to say regarding this case. And it came down to the same thing. All of these people who are appointed and are purported to be independent. No judicial system is independent of political interference in no country. The Americans weaponize their judicial system against their opponents. Every country does it. So this thing about the judicial process is independent is bullshit. It's nonsense. It's never independent. What the fuck Granger did? All of them people now who are sympathetic to the DPP, sympathetic. Think for a moment. I'm fair. I serve the people. Think for a moment. Look at the amount of prosecution, legal prosecution. Ali, Jagdio, and most of the others from the PPP faced under the PNC. Look how much. Remember they jailed Chetty, right? Look how much they faced. And what was the sentiments expressed at the time? What was the sentiments? Granger controlled the justice system. Granger controlled the DPP. Granger controlled sentiments, same shit. How the fuck is it different now? How is it different now? That suddenly the judicial system in Guyana is independent of political interference, but it never was in the past. In PNC time, it wasn't independent. 2015, 2020, it wasn't independent. And suddenly we have some saints who are politicians now, so the justice system is independent. What kind of nonsense is that? Let's be real here. I get the persons who have their issues and they would buy any shit the politicians say because they hate the other side. I understand. I ain't got a problem with your sentiments. You want to fabricate stuff and blame this one and blame that one, besides the politician, that's you. Do your thing. But when it comes to me and my mind, it's crap what the DPP had to say about why this case went before the court, why she advised to charge these men. The person who should have been held criminally negligent is Edgel. And if Edgel has any evidence that he submitted memo, he made recommendations to the president regarding the condition of that boat, advising the state if the president had the last signatory say as to what happened to MB Barima, and Edgel can say that, well, I knew the situation because we came into office and this thing was a mess. So everybody in the cabinet know this thing was a mess. But I advised the president, I advised my colleague, I told them that, hey, we can't keep repairing this boat. This is a disaster. This is COVID all over again, waiting to happen. This is a pandemic on water. And if he can say, I provided the thing, the president say, well, see what you can do to patch it up. Then it's the president must be held responsible. But since the box stopped with Edgel, and he was the sole man who had to make the decisions, and he decided not to replace the boat, he decided not to put the boats that they purchased for that purpose of replacing MV Barima. He decided not to do that. He decided not to service the engines. He decided not to patch. He decided to fire all them checkers that were there for years. Every business you go, every business that has to do with traversing passengers, even public buses, they issue a certain amount of tickets. If the buses are 32 tickets. And they check everyone. The genius decide to pull all the checkers, so nobody there to oversee, no accountability. Good. He single-handedly made all those changes towards the detriment of the Guyanese public. And you want to jail the people way at the bottom who cannot operate without a manifest, you know, the captain's manifest, without a schedule. They get a salary. They have to make a report at the end of their month or their shift to another supervisor, who has to take it to a manager, who would reach eventually the desk of the minister. You want to jail them and leave the man who is responsible out of it? I'm insulted. The people of Danamstel on the west coast of Demerara are largely Afro-Guyanese. It's a historic community. They're one of the villages that are deeply rooted in culture. You know, African culture, identity, deeply rooted. And let me tell you something. A lot of you may not know. I spent 6 years living amongst the people in Danamstel. 6 years. I had a private school in Danamstel, in one of the public buildings, a private school that operated in the afternoon. Students from the village and other surrounding villages attended my private school. I had a restaurant in Danamstel on the public road. It had a funny name, Dr. Love's Fried Chicken, but never mind. Yeah. A large portion of my father's relatives live in the Namstel. 20% of the residents of the Namsel are interrelated. They're connected by blood. 20%. Of which I'm also related. I know the ins and out of that community. The ins and out. One of the most peaceful villages on the west coast of the Marara. The Namsel. Peaceful. They treated me like a hero. I mean, they're pissed because of the past, but the point is, when you see the people of the Namsel came out and protested for the unjust incarceration of one of our own, you motherfuckers don't insult them. You fucking dogs, don't insult them. You understand what I'm saying? You so-called supporters of Egil, evil, pissant Egil, the hypocrite, the devil himself, the black fuck, the monkey face Egil. You want to be supporters of Egil? You and Egil go fuck yourselves. But you don't disrespect those protesters in the Namsel. You don't fucking disrespect them. You understand me? Don't disrespect them. Those are my relatives. Don't do that. They have every right to stand up for that young man. Every right. Because he is unjustly incarcerated. I am going to stand with them. They're not going to take the fall for Egil. They're not going to take the fall for Egil. And if chaos comes from that, let chaos comes from that. But they ain't going to take the fall for Egil. So all the stuff you're saying, why did the captain take the fucking ship? Why do you go to your jobs? A lot of you hate your jobs, right? The other day when they had the issues with the bees and the pigeons at the secondary, at the secondary schools in Guyana, every teacher showed up. Every teacher showed up. Parents who knew the school was infested with these pigeons, and pigeons dropping skin is something that can cause disease, viruses. They still send their kids to the school. How many children didn't get sick? How many children didn't get sick? Did you blame the children? Did you blame the parents? Did you blame the teachers? Did you say the teachers, knowing the condition of the school, should have stayed home? Did you say the parents, knowing the condition of the school, should not have sent their children to the school? Did you say that? No. You trusted the Ministry of Education, that they know of the situation of the school, and every day you are hoping that they're going to solve the problem. So you send your children to school, though they're going into a danger zone, you keep your fingers crossed that they will not be contaminated until those who got contaminated were contaminated. Then what happened? Public outcry. Statement from the Ministry of Education. Statement from that one. The blame game. The minister wasn't fired. because poor people's children suffered in that condition. The Mahdia fire, when there are reports made too, look at every situation. People still showed up to their job because that's all they have. That's all they have. They go hoping they can just make it through this day despite the conditions of their employment. They need the salary at the end of the month. They have family to take care of. They have bills to pay. If they decide to stand down, they'll get somebody else to do it. And the process can take forever to sue the employer. So you have a job you're certain of, you know the conditions are bad, you make your statement, you make your complaint, but you still show up for work because you are committed to serving the people. How the fuck you gonna blame the captain and the crew? If this tragedy didn't happen, you think they would have fixed the boat? The boat would have still been making voyages. Still been making voyages. It had to have come to a point where something happened to stop that process. Unfortunately, lives were sacrificed. Unfortunately. How many complaints were not made? Politicking this and talking about the captain, if he knows so much, you know that the ship didn't have navigation. You fucking idiots, you stupid motherfuckers. You know he didn't have a navigation. Why did you take the job? I've explained myself. So what I'm saying now, the only person who deserves the punishment is Edgel. The only person. All the evidence about him and his misdealings, his wrongdoings is out there. All the evidence. The law has to take its course. But the first thing is the DPP should not have recommended charges for these men when you have a commission that was not yet sworn in. What's the point of the commission? These men are in police custody, are in prison. They will not be able to be accessed. You have to talk to them through their lawyers. The same way how the government had to withdraw the cases against the Mohammed because of the extradition. Now we have a similar case. The commission cannot access these men to learn the truth because they're behind bars. They are now prisoners. They have no rights, no freedom. For what? To further cover up the nastiness of a criminal who hides behind the cloth as a bishop? Edgel, you are lucky these days and other days of old where God really strikes down assholes like you. You're lucky. You know the shit don't work that you preach. This is why you do a lot of bullshit and you get away with it because you know there's no accountability. Yet to you there is no hell, there is no sin. You just tell the people that to keep them in line, but you live like a devil. The only God that can punish you, Edgel, is Ali. Ain't no other God. So all these people who are saying leave him to God, no, don't comfort yourself with that useless statement. You don't leave anybody to God. If you can get justice, get justice. The only God that can punish Edgel is Ali. You got to say leave him to Ali. And so far you see, Ali wouldn't punish him. So if Ali wouldn't punish Edgel, no other God will. No other God will. Don't give yourself false hope. Power belongs to the people. Power belongs to the people. Bear that in mind. These assholes that you think are powerful, they're not powerful. They're powerful because you allow them to be powerful. You made them powerful. By themselves, they're nothing. So you have to show them who's the real boss. You have to show them who the real bosses are. And since we have another 4 years for elections, what do we have now? What is your ammunition? A 1 day protest? A 1 hour protest? A group here, a group there? No, you won't get results like that. And don't allow opposition people to hijack this. You're not protesting here for Mohammed or the PNC or the APNU. Folks, understand this. APNU contributed to this problem also. They don't have any right to come and show face anywhere because this could have happened under them. This could have happened under them. But they took a little bit more practical measures in putting checkers, people to monitor, to make sure that, hey, no, because this is an accident waiting to happen. So let's make sure that we don't take any chances. But it could have happened if they were as lackadaisical and careless and greedy like Edgel. It could have happened since then. But it happened. So don't let them come and start talking and explaining, because no, if they had loved the people as much as they claim, they could have fixed it since then. So none of them cared about the people. President Ali should never have allowed the bishop to do what he did. Never. Renting out state assets for private parties. Mr. President, you should not have allowed, this is on YouTube. You should not have allowed this man to go down that road. It should be off limit. Or just privatize the whole thing. Privatize Transport and Harbors Department and have a private company own the ships, own the steamer, and they can do what they want with it, as long as it provides safe passage for our people. But we have a state that is controlling everything. What do you think will happen? You are encouraging corruption, because if the price is right, they're going to keep the best just to rent it out. You think those people who was it Hits and Jams or whoever it is, you think they'll go rent MV Barima for their river party? No, nobody wants to rent MV Barima. MV Barima is a slave ship. It's a slave ship to be abused, overloaded, taken advantage of by the system and the private sector because it's cheap. They save money. But no private person would rent the boat for anything, because they know it's, one, it would not attract customers, and two, it's a hazard waiting to happen. But we are going over all of this day and day and day in, when the only way to solve this issue is to hold the one man responsible. Let him excuse himself. Mr. President, I'm using my platform to twist this as much as I can twist it, so as not to put all the blame on the president. But I want to emphasize here, I'm doing this voluntarily, and it's pissing me off that I have to. When all the people that are supposed to be there to help to bring some stability in this matter, they're pushing fake news. They're pushing propaganda. Everybody can see, the whole country can see the government is the government's fault. Take responsibility. These men were hired by the government. They work for the state. And that's another thing. You are sentencing the employee, but the employer is allowed to go free. The employer is Bishop Edgel. He said many days until he finally had to change his mind and blame the manifest. He said the boat was not overloaded. He said that everything went according to plan. Engines were working. And he said, I heard him myself. Edgel said the boat capsized as a result of a huge wave. Edgel and Mark Phillips repeated that. They have been saying that constantly. Wasn't overloaded, no breaches, no irregularities, It was seaworthy. Engines were working. Everyone accounted for. It was just an accident where the waves capsized the boat. That's what they said. So if the waves capsized the boat, you motherfuckers, you motherfucker Edgel, tell me how the captain is responsible for a boat that was capsized by a wave. How is he going to jail for that? Is he the god of the sea? Is he what they call the god of the sea? The mermaid god? Is he the mermaid god that blow the wave towards the ship to capsize it? Is he the one that caused the wave? According to you, Edgel and Phillips, it was a wave. So how come he's and his sailors are in prison? How can a DPP advise for these men to be jailed when her superiors in the same party said it was a natural disaster? No man-made interference. They said that. But yet, to appease the public, yet to take attention away from the bishop, you're saying, okay, these guys were drunk. So even though a wave sunk the ship, they should have been sober enough to jump overboard and brace the ship up. But because they were high on marijuana, on weed, they were too scared to jump in the water and just paddle their feet and brace the ship from. That's what it is. That's what these idiots are telling you. That's why they're charging these men. All the evidence is out there. All the facts are out there. I'm very embarrassed. I'm very embarrassed that nobody come out and condemn this. Nobody from the government side. I understand a lot of you are chicken. You're quiet. You're quiet. You're chicken. So you zip your mouth. You're not saying anything. But you know this is wrong. You know this is wrong. All the things they said. The DPP heard that too. Just Chief Justice, Chief Magistrate heard that too. Everything that the minister said. We all heard what he said. And you can still charge these men and send them to charity so they can sentence them there. Magistrate Judy. You heard the same thing I heard. The DPP heard the same thing I heard. So what evidence can the police provide that is different from what the bishop said or the prime minister said? What evidence? What? You have a taping where these men were conspiring to say, hey, we're going to sail the boat to where they have these strong currents and then just kill one of the engine so the boat is going to struggle and just leave everything to one side. You know, all the weight, you just concentrate the weight on one side. So that is the side is going to, I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. Are we that stupid? Are we such idiots? These men are the scapegoats. Yeah, they're black and they're dumb. So, okay, we're going to punish them for being niggers. Jail them. And the world will not be sympathetic because these are black men and they look horrible. So nobody will be sympathetic. Oh, they're black people. Just aborted it. Yeah, they were smoking. Yeah, we believe it. I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have that. When I talk about thugs and scraps and scrapes and niggas, I'm talking about criminals. Real bloodthirsty criminals. Gangsters and thugs. I refer to them how I refer to them. But remember, these men are professionals, educated, skilled professionals who for years were subjected to these nasty conditions with a broken down ship to transport a route of over 100 miles, which takes them sometimes more than a day from Georgetown to the Northwest. They have to go through that process The ship had a heart problem, kidney problem, breathing problem. The ship had diabetes, hypertension, osteoporosis, you name it. The ship had all of these chronic illnesses and was still taken advantage of and had to take that long journey at 87 years. Those men tied their belly, prayed every day, and took the journey with people's lives in their hands, knowing that the boats are overloaded and they don't have any say because the minister is calling and say, pull the fucking boat, carry my goods. The minister. And you're treating these men as if they're some low-life thugs that you catch in Tiger Bay on the street snatching somebody's purse. You have these fucking policemen, these corporal who just had a has a community high school diploma. I want to push these men around as if they're low lives. This is what I can't take with these police officers. You know with your conscience, these police officers there at the High Court, a lot of you are not as qualified as these men. You have no skill other than taking orders from your superiors. And when you're pulling these men and treating them like that, knowing the ordeal these men had to face, you yourself know these men are being punished. They have to take the fall. Treat them with some respect. They're not criminal. Fuck the court, what the court said. The court, Judy can't determine that they're criminals. We know this is politics. They risk their lives every day for years, risk their lives to pilot that ship on such a long journey. How many of you can sit on a boat on a wide ocean for a whole day, for a whole day? You can't even do it on a plane. You transit. Can you sit in a plane for 24 hours to go anywhere? No plane takes such a journey. It will follow the sky. But a broken down boat like NV Barima traverse a rough sea with one engine for 87 years. And when the boat finally couldn't take it anymore, because everybody turned their backs, you want to jail the captain, pin 72 murders on him and these men, and spare the people who are the culprits. Who are the culprits? I am here. Trust me. With this situation, I'm here. I'm fucking here. Before I blew it, I am here. One more thing, and I'm off the shelf. I am here. So all of you who are hiding behind fake profile, and like propagandizing and talking a lot of stuff and pushing propaganda for the government and for Edgil to try to further bury these men because they're black, I am fucking here. Keep pushing it. And I'm over the fence. I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't have it. The most decent thing you can do is fire the fucking bishop. The most decent you can do. People quit their jobs. Ministers in other countries, cabinet secretaries in the United States, resign for less, for a simple gossip, a simple text message. They resign. They are fired. A slip of the tongue at the press, they are fired. And you caused the death of over 100 people because of your negligence. And you want to jail 3 innocent black men? I wouldn't have it. All right, let me make it clear. So what I saw circulating about the Danam cell situation, that's close to home for me. Very close. Don't mess with them. Those people are peaceful. Politicians can't go and fold their heads and get them out to come and do shit. They're independent of politics. A lot of them are scholars, educated people. They're not school dropouts. So be careful what you're saying about the people of the Namsel. Be careful what you're saying. They have a right to stand up for their brother, their cousin, their relative, their husband, their father. They have a right to do it. And I wish the whole village, if you're listening to me now, people from the Namstel, every one of you should come out and demand the immediate release, not just of that gentleman, but all three. Wherever the other man lives, whichever part of the West Coast or West Bank, that entire village should come out too and stand in solidarity, because he transported your family members for years problem-free. Problem-free. So don't listen to the stupid stuff coming from Edgill's camp. I want to say that these men are guilty. You want to treat these men like animals? Come out and demand that they release these men. And since Ali would not arrest Edgill, then leave that for another time. But let's focus on making sure these men don't take the fall for a failed minister, a failed bishop, and a devil in a fucking tie. Let's make sure they don't take the fall for him. This is the sad thing about justice in Guyana. The sad thing from the Mohammeds using the justice system to run away from extradition, to the justice system being used to penalize innocent men. Well, let me see how the justice system is going to work now regarding the continuity of the Mohammed's case. He held it hostage for months. Now we have Judge Judy, who is the chief magistrate. The chief magistrate. If she still is going to preside over that case, let us see how best she serves the people of Guyana. We'll see who she's serving this time, if it's the government or the Mohammed. We'll see. Because the CCJ is done with that. It's back to her now. Any prolonging of this issue and the government will not act, the Judicial Service Commission, who recommended her for that position, will not act. The Attorney General will not act. And this is going to prolong until December and throughout next year. I don't have to stop with withdrawing my support from the PPP. I can take it all the way. Because useless. It's a waste of time to support an organization that is that weak and all the time has to be held hostage. They're weak, they can't act. They're weak, they can't exercise swift judgment. Then how can you support such an organization? Then you got to support the man who is strong, the strong one. So if it seems like the Mohammed is controlling everybody, he's now taken over the PNC, the APNU, everybody he's controlling. And now he's controlling the judicial system. That even though the CCJ has pronounced on his matter conclusively, but is going to prolong in the local courts in Guyana forever. Ladies and gentlemen, it will make no sense supporting Ali or the PPP. No sense. The best person you can support is the one who is stronger. And so far, Who is? Let's be real here. Who is stronger? Mohammed is doing anything he wants in the country, no accountability. He's violating anyone he wants in the country, no accountability. The court couldn't hold him. The police couldn't contain him. The CCJ heard his case, hold it up for 3 months, return it back to Guyana, say, you deal with it. And if now that it's come back to Guyana, the case will not be concluded, America will not get their guy, and Judge Judy is going to keep postponing and postponing and postponing, that's all the evidence you need that the strong man in Guyana is Mohammed. Not Ali, not the PPP, not Jack Deal. Mohammed. He would call the shots. He can call the shots. So if you want justice with this Barima tragedy, we might as well look to Mohammed. Because the president can't fire the bishop, which means the president may not have the strength to do it. Provoke your common sense. Everybody wants the hero. Everybody wants the winner, not the loser. The winner. And so far, the only one who's winning is Azruddin. The only one who's winning is Azruddin. So if that's the power of his money, if that is the power, the might of his money, then why fight against it? Why fight against it? You got to go with the flow. So we'll see now, like I said, give the man permission to lift the ship. It's his money. We'll see now what happens in the courts regarding the extradition case. If the extradition case keeps postponing, Mohammed have them with in his hands. He has the whole system in his hands. Then what's the point fighting against him? And you can't beat him. Join him. Common sense. So all of you who are politicking and fabricating stuff and talking stuff, instead of attacking the Mohammeds, pressure the government to do the right thing. Pressure the government to do the right thing. That's how you get your job done. Because you attacking the man in solving the problem, it is not giving the government strength. Because the man is still roaming free. He's still doing what he has to do. He's still controlling politicians. So your weak, stupid attack is not stopping anything. The best you can do right now is to demand from your government, say, hey, if you don't make sure that the next hearing of this case signs off on the extradition, and if Judge Judy cannot reconcile herself to the fact that she is Chief Justice and she needs to deliver justice because the whole world is watching, and she will still postpone and postpone and postpone, then you tell the government, well, we can't support you. This man is controlling the whole system. Why fight against him? Because you fight against him and something happens to you, you can't protect me. He is the one who can protect me. You can't. So he may not be president, but it looks like he might be, because you can't do anything about his situation. Common sense. If you don't say it like that, they don't get the message. When you sugarcoat it, and oh, the Mohammeds is buying everybody. Yes, we know that. Oh, the Mohammeds is corrupt. We know that. Oh, the Mohammeds is bribed the judge. We suspect it. So don't repeat stuff that people speculate on. Fuck that shit, man. Don't repeat stuff. We need actions right now. Actions. Action number one, you want to shut down the protests. You want to shut down the conspiracies. Fire the fucking bishop. And you dismiss that. Action number two, You want to show strength? Let's see what happens when the case go back to Judy. Let's see what happens. Then we see who is the boss. But until then, on whose behalf are we operating? On whose behalf? I continue to politic and propagandize for Ali or PPP or whoever it is. At the end of the day, I still go to bed at nights worried about what I have in my bank account. None of them do. Mohammed has his solid billions. So me attacking the Mohammeds to please this one, who is the idiot? I am the idiot. Because the Mohammeds are billionaires and the other people are millionaires. I am the fucking idiot. I know idiot. I'm saying this because Uncle Sam is monitoring what happens with this Mohammed extradition. And if the government don't have the balls to expedite this thing, we all suffer. All of us suffer. Because Uncle Sam would take it a step up and just put sanctions on the whole fucking country. They ain't got time with governments and their weakness anymore. The whole country, they're going to sanction. The whole country. And if they sanction the whole country, welcome to Venezuela. Welcome to Venezuela. So this is what we have at stake. Not spreading bullshit and cussing this one and cussing that one and say, oh, this is the... No, we ain't got that to worry about. What we got to worry about here, if the government is too slow or they will not apply pressure so the Mohammeds can go on their extradition, we risk financial sanctions on the country, economic sanctions on the country, and you think life is hard now? You think life is hard now. All them people you see we are cussing out, them ministers, they're rich. They're all rich. If sanctions come on Guyana because of the Mohammeds, the ministers, the president, whoever, they would not lose their money. They ain't gonna get broke. They would still continue to earn. It's you. It is the local people, the voters, who are going to feel the squeeze. The voters. And no amount of politicking, no amount of cussing who and who you support and who you're for is going to change the consequences if America imposes sanctions on Guyana as a nation. No amount of it. You are going to look like the asshole, while them big boys that we are protecting is going to continue with their lavish lifestyle, sanctions or not. So what we need to do is to emphasize to the government, if the judiciary is indeed independent, let's get this over with. The Mohammed's extradition, let's get it over with. So in September, we'll have a month to remember. Gone, baby, gone. Yeah. I guess the Mohammeds didn't pay me enough, huh? I guess the Mohammeds did not pay me enough. Because if the Mohammeds had paid me enough, I wouldn't be saying this about them, would I? Would I? So I guess they gotta step up. The money is too small. They need to pay me more. The things people say, you're so fucking stupid. The dumb shit they say. I always tell them, listen to the whole show. The whole show. All right? Don't cherry pick and just, you hear this part and you're like, oh, he's in the... Listen to the whole show. You want to have something to formulate an opinion, listen from beginning to end. You don't take something and then you say, yeah, he's speaking for the Mohammeds like he crossed over, he jumped ship. What am I, a prostitute? Anyway, continue the protest so these men can go home to their families and the real person can be held responsible. Share this live. Thanks for the comments. Subscribe to the channel. And I think I'll go back to promoting my books because I need to make money too, earn money too. For those of you who have not yet gone to Amazon.com, visit Amazon.com and you can buy from the series. Oh, I think it's a bad time now because people are like, oh, okay. How you want me to buy Prince Ali and the President? Now, with this thing and the alien refused to send Edgel home, and no, I can't make money using the Prince Ali term. There ain't no Prince now because look what he's doing. Please engage your common sense, engage your logics. My books has nothing to do with the president's operation. I've said before why I use the title. I've said before, my books covered a wide range of social, political, economic issues. It's not about the PPP cabinet or Edgel. The title is there. It will remain. So supporting the books is not like you're subscribing towards the way the president is handling his affairs. Go ahead and buy the books, read the books, and you'll understand there's no association. Okay? I wrote the books because of my experience, and I thought I was inspired because of the consistency of the then Irfan. But President Irfan's second term, I'm not responsible for whatever the man has become politically. It's not my fault. I already wrote what's in the book. But I'm being fair on these issues. I'm being fair on these issues. And if I have a problem with the way the president is handling this situation, I can speak out. That has nothing to do with the topics I've covered in my book. Nothing. So you want to buy the books? I appreciate that. Amazon.com, Prince Ali and the President. You support the work, you support the books. And the only person who have the right to criticize or comment, you know, like the criticism that these assholes make, cussing me out, are the people who buy books. I'll accept their criticism. But a lot of them have never supported anything. They didn't donate anything, nothing, but they want to criticize. They want to comment as if they have some right. No, if you're supporting, you're contributing, you know, you're there, then I'll listen to your support. I'll give you a hearing, but don't come and empty vessels and you're blah 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 blah, and you're not a subscriber. Let's be fair here. I'm not going to keep things on my mind and treat you in the different. I tell you like it is, but I still love you. I won't block you, but I'll tell you like it is. At least you know why I'm affected, why I'm upset. You know, people out there like, oh no, it's okay, don't worry about it, it's fine. But then they take their phone and they call, fire that guy. No. I would scold you, correct you, let you know how I feel. But we're good after that. After that, we're good. No animosity, no hidden agenda. We're good. I move on. So you should trust me because I tell you like it is. In real time. I'm not secretly, you know, they have this way, on their telephone, you can't see when they read your messages. But they read your messages and pretend that they haven't read it and ignore you until a situation arises. And, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize you. Okay, whatever. I ain't like that. Something on my mind, I'll let you know. And I'm done with it. I would still feed you, clothe you, protect you. America's not walking around with this hidden agenda, this hidden secret racism. I'm transparent. What you see here, that's what you get. No acting, no pretense, no sham. I'm the president or the opposition leader. So I got to say goodbye now. Until next time, I thank you for your attention. I told you so. I'm the prophet.